We're at Red Lodge in Suffolk for the penultimate round of the FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. This is the official junior partner series to BSB, and where riders from 6 years of age start their racing career. Now, if you race motorcycles, one thing is guaranteed: you are going to crash from time to time, and if you do, that can be very expensive, replacing fairings and so on. Now, the guys from FAB-Racing, Craig Wilford joins me, are producing fairings specifically for the bikes used in the championship, and you've come on board, Craig, as a sponsor. Tell us a little bit about why you've got involved and what it is you're offering.
Yeah, basically we were approached by Crispin with regards to some sponsorship, and we decided that, talking through it, that one of the main costs for the riders is the fairings. So we decided if we could bring the cost down on the fairings, good quality, get some cost-effective fairing prices in, it's going to help the teams, it's going to help everybody, it's going to keep riders on the grid. And
keep some mums and dads happy because they're not paying out so much. So yeah. Just tell us a little bit about typical costs and what you're going to be charging.
Yeah, typically the fairings can cost for the Mini GP 50s and 70s can be anywhere up to £400 for a set. We're doing them for £235 delivered. We're going to be at some of the meetings as well, so they'll be here ready for the riders.
And you're going to be doing, these are obviously the Mini GP fairings we've got here, but you're going to be doing Mini Moto as well?
That's right. We're going to be doing the Blatters and the DM mini bikes as well. So, you know, the range will be expanding, and we'll be trying to provide as many fairings as we can for the riders.
And you can produce these, I understand, in any colour that they want, as a flat colour, and then the stickers can be applied to that afterwards.
That's right. We'll be using specific rail codes to get them right for each individual team. We'll get all the colours on there, so they really will be ready for the stickers to go straight onto the bikes.
Henry, we've just been speaking to the guys at FAB-Racing. They're producing the fairings in raw form, but you're producing these stickers not only for the BSB teams. You've got some examples here from the Pay Me bike, but you can also produce specialist stuff for riders that perhaps not in a team but want their own colour scheme. So just explain what it is that you're doing.
Well, my business specialises in, it's all motocross based stuff, so real hard wearing, and it's sectional graphics, so it's not a sort of, if a bike goes down, you have to replace a whole lot. So a lot of time is spent in creating the design over set pieces. So if they go down, damage a panel, they can just replace just that panel.
Yeah, so you've got an example here we're just having a quick look at. So this is the Pay Me bike, looks really nice. But basically the stickers, there's sectional parts to it. So the parents, in order to save them money, if they have their own design, they can, if they do go down, as you say, they can just buy the part that they need, the sticker that they need to apply to a new fairing, obviously.
Yeah. Well, the sport it is, and unfortunately, it's not a matter of if, it's when it goes down. So keep the bikes looking fresh, keep the sponsors' names on there, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But like I say, they can have the full custom designs. If they want to make minor changes, add sponsors along the season, if they come on board, that's easily done with this. All designs are kept on file, so we can work from that.
So obviously, as you're saying there, you're doing the BSB, all the BSB bikes basically, for the BSB teams. But if someone's not in a team, but they want their own sort of design, you've got a design, you can do a design for them, or they can do their own design?
Yeah, if they send me all their details via email or whatever, I mean, they can go to the point of even sketching it on a piece of paper. We can work from that, liaise backward and forward, and yeah, build it up, and once they're happy, we can get them printed.
Minimoto rookies up first then. Alexander Merchant, the championship leader at this point, of course. What can Cameron Sewell and Johnny Garnis do to close down the gap? Well, they're starting on the front row, so that's the first bit out the way. Mason Foster lines up beside Merchant with Crosby and Muncie. Tilley and Kirsch, Smith and Hopkins rounding out the top 10. Taylor Stewart-Campbell alongside Orlando Phillips on the 6th row could be worth a watch as well. But this is all about Alexander Merchant trying to get one over on Cameron and Johnny, who have already beaten him to the front row. Away we go. And it's a good start from Sewell and Garnis, and straight away, everybody through that first left-hander nice and smooth.
Garnis straight into the lead, as he has been in 7 of the last 8 races. He's won 7 of the last 8. He lost the previous race to this one earlier in the day, That's his first defeat in 8 races. That was a DNF, but he's out front already and well clear. Mason Foster we're on board with.
Yes, on board with Mason Foster as he works his way through the far end of the circuit. The left-handers, the rights. But Mason Foster's got himself a good start. Look at that, into second position early as he chases down Garnes. There is the orange bike. Johnny Garnes running very well through the tight left-hander and then up towards the right. A very tricky technical circuit, this one, Red Lodge. Lots of hairpins and sweeping fast moves from the rest of the circuit. Down towards the very tender chicane here at the end of the lap. It's very tight, very tricky to get a good exit. But Garnes has got himself a good run, and that's the first fall. That's Sullivan Monsey down in the final turn. And unfortunately, that means his afternoon has just been compromised big time.
Well, it's a shame for Sullivan, but he's done it before. Did it at Watermill, of course, in his first appearance in the championship. That's the championship leader picked out there. Alexander Merchant in 4th place. Now, Johnny Garnes' DNF last time has helped him out big time, because I think Johnny was still in it, basically, potentially, to win it if he just kept winning races. And that DNF last time, of course, if you do DNF, you don't score any points. So that's helped out the championship leader. Cameron Saul picked out there in 3rd place, 2nd in the championship. That's the man with the onboard camera, Mason Foster. He's had a good start in this one.
Great battle this for second position, as Foster might have Sewell to his right, but he gets good acceleration off the long left hand and right hand hairpins. So let's see if he can close in on our leader Garnes. He's trying to drop Sewell. We're on board with Foster as he comes down the main straight. Let's try and ride on board with him. Here we go down to the first corner, off the throttle. Gentle on the brakes, the bike can snap away if you're a little bit too rough with it. Then through that very tight left-hander, almost 180 degrees that. In fact, it's slightly over. So they go through the right, then in again through this tight hairpin section. A long sweeping right-hander that opens on the exit, and it looks as if Alexander Merchant is starting to get on terms with Cameron Sewell. Sewell is having to defend here in 3rd place.
And Johnny Garnes isn't getting any further away, is he? Looks like he was going to clear off in the early stages, but he's not actually increased his advantage. It's staying the same, but the 3 behind, this is a great battle for position in behind. Foster from Saul and then Merchant. Garnes has a quick look over his shoulder. They're still as far away as they were at the end of the first lap. Now, can they close him down? That's the question.
Yeah, Foster is doing very well to keep with Garnes at the moment. Sewell and Merchant almost side by side as they approach one of the back markers. That's Isaac Johnson, sweeping round the outside of the left-hander. And Sewell actually able to run closer to Foster than I thought he'd be through the traffic here. Sewell is dealing with this very well indeed. Merchant's trying to get a good run off the right-hander in through the left, and then this very tight 180-degree right-hand hairpin, which opens on the exit. You've got to be so careful on the throttle here, though, because it can snap away from you without warning through the square left and down the back straight. This is where you can pick up the most speed, and then a very tricky part of the section. This is very similar to the sort of circuit, sort of corners you get out in Sepang in Malaysia. It starts tight, then opens, then tightens right back up again through the left-hander. Very tight right, and this is where Cameron Sewell is able to gain a lot of ground on Foster, but it's the next section where Merchant starts to put him back under pressure just at the pit entrance. Great pictures from the drone above the circuit, and the next one that Garnes is going to be coming up to lap, that looks to me as though that's Josh Kirsch. Garnes sweeps right round the outside, holds that line, but this is going to be interesting. What can Sewell and Merchant do when they creep up behind, and Foster's actually getting a little bit held up there.
Yeah, you've got to get through the traffic, you've got to make use of the traffic where possible. That's Charlie Tilley on the 95 running there in 5th place. He's got Jack Kirsch, I think that is, just behind him. That's the leader, Garnes, going underneath the drone. And the 3 in behind just spread out just slightly. Yeah, that is Jack Kirsch on the 96. Jack was leading at Landau, Jake, wasn't he, before he had that crash? He was gutted that day.
I think he's going to get a good run on Tilley here. Tilley having to defend. They split Kirsch round the outside there. They go either side of Josh Kirsch to try and get the best purchase off the corner. And Josh Kirsch has had a bit of a heart attack there as he watches both of them either side of him flash past. But Jack Kirsch is now really starting to put Tilley under pressure here. And Tilley's going to have to work incredibly hard to keep him back. Don't forget, of course, Charlie Tilley, 5th in the race, 4th in the championship, ahead of Mason Foster. So this is a good run for Foster by comparison. Tilley is actually on the back foot here.
And Cameron Sewell, well, I was going to say Cameron Sewell under pressure from Alexander Merchant. That's exactly the case as they go through the infield hairpin in the middle of the circuit. It looks like Mason Foster's pulled out a little bit of a gap, but Merchant put in his main protagonist for the championship title now. Cameron Sewell under pressure.
We had a bike stopped out on the far side of the circuit. The marshals are just attending that, so there could be yellow flags going into the final corner. We'll keep an eye on that. Here's the battle for 5th position again, Tilley and Kirsch. And who is that just behind them? I think that's one of the riders that's just been lapped. Oh, Sewell and Merchant going side by side there nearly. Merchant's got a good run. He might have an opportunity here into the final couple of corners, but Sewell sees him off nicely. Foster still not able to get away from them. It's Kyle Payne stopped out on the track on the home stretch. Not really a straight as such, that one. There's a nice curvature to the left all the way down it. Back on board again with Foster, trying to work his way through the traffic nicely and hopefully get a good couple of positions closer on the road.
Held him up. He's been held up there by the traffic. That will allow those in 3rd and 4th place to get much closer, and they have.
They're right on him and up the inside. They go past the back marker, but Foster has lost a big amount of time there to Sewell and Merchant, so he's going to want to step up the game again. But Garnis, and that has actually given Garnis a bit more of an advantage. Look at that. I'd say there's about 20 bike lengths now between 1st and 2nd now. So Garnis, it's not a massive lead, but it's enough to be comfortable as they go into the latter stage of the lap once again. Johnny Garnis looking very good. We're heading for the final tour, and this is getting to be very, very positive indeed. Now, this battle for 2nd position, going into the last lap this time by, is going to get ferocious if I know these boys. And Mason Foster hanging on to it for the moment, but 3rd position could get very tasty, especially looking at Merchant, championship leader, wanting to get one back on Cameron Sewell. You've got to give all of the credit here to Johnny Garnis. Sullivan Mounsey, having got back on the bike, has actually just set the fastest lap, so well done to Sullivan there. But Garnis has definitely got himself a bit more ground. Merchant is having to play catch up this time.
That is Garnis going through the shot. There's Foster, Sewell, and just in behind the championship leader, Alexander Merchant. It's anybody's for 2nd place. It's close. Great performance there by Sullivan Mounsey, Jake, by the way. Got him getting back on the bike and then setting the fastest lap. He's fairly new to the championship, so we should be looking at him next year. I think he'll probably still be in the rookie class next year, and he will be one of the championship favourites, I'm sure.
3 corners to go, and Cameron Sewell still having to deal with the pressure of Alexander Merchant. Mason Foster getting away. We're on board with Foster. He's going to have to come onto the traffic as well. This could get tricky, but Johnny Garnis is going to get the victory. A brilliant ride to 1st position. An absolute dominant run from Johnny Garnis. And 2nd place, it's just Foster in front of Sewell and Merchant. The traffic really played its part in that one there. It allowed Garnis to get away. Tilley from Kirsch, a good battle between those two in this one, and Tilley losing some points there to Mason Foster. That could make things interesting, but Johnny Garnis is your race winner from Foster, Sewell, Merchant and Tilley, with Jack Kirsch running in 6th position. Good race from Garnis.
Alexander Merchant still leads the championship. He's got a decent lead, but he's only a DNF away from making it very interesting at the last round. Sewell 2nd from Garnis, Tilley and Foster rounding out the top 5. Coming next, it's Mini GP 50, and this one could be an absolute cracker.